It's an all-new Philadelphia Eagles now coming your way. My name is Chase Sr. Thank you so much for hopping on board, joining the show, and hanging out here with me. Coming up here on the program, Nick Sirianni, very busy to start this offseason in building his offensive coaching staff. The Philadelphia Eagles making more moves and more changes to this staff going into 2026. And I'm going to explain why I really like what Philadelphia is doing. We'll get to that, but first, do you have a significant other who you really care about, who you absolutely adore and love? Have you done Valentine's Day shopping yet? It's coming up in just a couple of days. If you haven't, get it done right now, especially while you're watching this show. Married into this Philadelphia Eagles Now gear, available now. All you got to do, plug in that link down below. Affordable clothing items, shirts, sweatshirts that look good, and it's going to have your lady feeling good as well. Chatsports.com/Eagles V-Day. She may not have been born an Eagles fan, but you turned her into an Eagles fan. Now she's married into this, just like you're married to the game of being a Birds fan. Chatsports.com/Eagles V-Day. We have shirts available. We have sweatshirts available. We've been sending these all across the country. Hop on board and get yours now. All right, let me begin here. To start this offseason, I really like what the Philadelphia Eagles have done with their coaching staff. Howie, Roseman, Jeffrey Lurie, and Nick Sirianni are being bold and aggressive. They're swinging for the fences here, and that's how big businesses win, especially in the National Football League. Philadelphia, over the last couple of years, they've done some nice things on the offensive side of the football, but in 2025, this offense was vanilla. It was predictable, and it needed to be altered. And so Philadelphia here is changing this offensive scheme, and they're allowing Sean Mannion to hire some coaches who he's very familiar with. So I think this coaching staff continuity for Mannion and his guys is a good thing, and Nick Sirianni can oversee the operation. I also think this scheme can maximize the roster because it is a scheme that has been effective across the NFL for a very long time. And what I also like here is the timing. Philadelphia is getting this done before the NFL Combine so that they can go into the draft and into free agency knowing what they want to do and the types of players they can target. Is there a risk here? Undoubtedly. But the best businesses win by being aggressive. And I'm 34 years old right now. I've been an Eagles fan since I was 4 years old. I remember watching the Birds in 1996, 1997. Jeffrey Lurie, since he's purchased the team, has been an owner that is willing to invest, that is willing to spend, that is willing to do whatever it takes to turn the Eagles into a perennial playoff team and a championship contender. And that's why, since 2000, the Eagles have been one of the most successful teams in the National Football League. And history shows being bold, taking chances, being aggressive, putting your nuts on the table. This is how Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie roll. Now, to this coaching staff, there are 4 new offensive coaches who have been hired by the Eagles. Sean Mannion as offensive coordinator, Josh Grizzard as pass game coordinator, Ryan Mahaffey, tight ends coach and run game coordinator, and Chris Kuper, the offensive line coach. And let's begin here with talking more about Sean Mannion. My thoughts on him. This is a young, rising star of a coach who has learned under some great offensive minds. And it's pretty telling to me that Packers fans, Packers coaches, the Packers organization did not want to lose him. It's also pretty telling that there was some buzz that Mike Macdonald, who just won a Super Bowl with Seattle, one of the finer defensive minds and football minds in the NFL going now, there was some chatter that he wanted to hire Sean Mannion as his new OC when Clint Kubiak eventually got that Raiders job. Mike Macdonald knows exactly what he's doing. And Mannion is going to bring an offense to Philadelphia that's different, that's new, that's creative, that is refreshing to see. And it's going to have ingredients from all of these coaches who he's learned under. Sean McVay, head coach of the Los Angeles Rams. Kevin Stefanski, 2-time coach of the year, now with Atlanta. Clint Kubiak just got that head coaching job with Las Vegas. Kevin O'Connell, good offensive mind, head coach for the Minnesota Vikings. Matt LaFleur has done a lot of nice things with the Green Bay Packers. Dave Canales, I think, is very underrated. What he's done with Carolina in 2 years has been highly impressive. Look out for the Panthers to take another step forward in 2026. And then Grant Yadinsky, he's going back to the Jags as their OC, but he had head coaching interviews with Cleveland, with Buffalo, and I guarantee you this time next year, he's going to be in the running for head coaching jobs or already named a head coach. Some thoughts on Josh Grizzard as well. Learned under Mike McDaniel, Kyle Shanahan disciple. Josh Grizzard now as your pass game coordinator, who did some really nice things with Baker Mayfield in 2024. Having Baker playing like a top 10 quarterback, has play calling experience. And when Grizzard handled third down duties for the Buccaneers in 2024, Tampa Bay, the number one third down offense in the NFL, he learned alongside Liam Cohen. Look at what Liam Cohen did for Trevor Lawrence this past year. For Ryan Mahaffey, he worked his way up under Matt LaFleur. A lot of people respect what he's been able to do. He's got experience alongside Sean Mannion to give Mannion familiarity within his coaching staff, and he's now going to be the run game coordinator as a guy who used to play fullback. Fullbacks lead the way, and hopefully Mahaffey can lead the way for this Eagles rushing attack. Chris Kuper, drafted by Mike Shanahan, the father of Kyle Shanahan. Chris Kuper, learned under Mike Munchak, Pennsylvania guy. Mike Munchak is one of the best offensive line coaches in the history of the league. He coached under Kevin O'Connell. Kevin O'Connell, a Sean McVay guy. So what's the common theme here? These coaches that Sean Mannion is bringing in are familiar with the scheme that he wants to run. This is something that I talked about with Greg Cosell of NFL Films, one of the brightest football minds that you'll find in media. And if Sean Mannion's going to be brought in to run his own offensive scheme, Nick Sirianni can't be a meddling head coach. Let Mannion cook and do his thing. And Sirianni can continue to be the CEO head coach and oversee the entire operation. This news happening today. These coaches, who are very well known, are returning to this Eagles coaching staff in the same roles. Jemal Singleton, running backs coach, he had some OC interviews last cycle. Look at what he's done with the likes of Saquon Barkley and others. Tank Bigsby came alive under Jemal Singleton. Kenneth Gainwell, really good player under Jemal Singleton's watch. He's also done some nice things at the college level. And then Aaron Morehead will return as wide receivers coach. I've been seeing that he's gotten some slack on social media because it's not like he's developed a wide receiver under Nick Sirianni's watch because he's been the wide receivers coach under Sirianni. Look, I will say, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, they're special players. They could probably put up more than 1,000 yards for any wide receivers coach out there. But Morehead is a Nick Sirianni guy, and if Sean Mannion's going to retain Morehead, I think that's saying something. I interviewed him a couple of years ago. I really enjoyed the conversation. I think he's a bright football mind. I think Darius Cooper has a bright future. Jahan Dotson was definitely disappointing. Quez Watkins never really worked out. Olamide Zaccheaus, he's been better elsewhere. Is that on Morehead? Maybe. I'm really not sure. These coaches also returning, according to Jeff McClain. Their roles, though, are TBD. Parks Frazier last year was the pass game coordinator. Obviously, Josh Grizzard is in that role now. Greg Austin, assistant all offensive line coach. We'll see what type of role he has. Eric Dickerson, not the legendary running back, offensive quality control coach. And then there's Montgomery VanGorder, who is also an offensive coach as a quality control coach. The futures are unknown for Scott Loeffler, quarterbacks coach, who left Bowling Green as their head coach to be the Eagles quarterbacks coach last offseason. And then Kevin Patullo as offensive coordinator. Is he going to continue to stay on this staff? Could he get a better job elsewhere? We'll certainly see. And it is a coaching staff that has seen some turnover, right? These coaches no longer with the team. Jeff Stoutland stepping away. No familiarity with the Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay, Matt LaFleur offense. The blocking technique is completely different from what he teaches and has been taught compared to what is taught in those offensive schemes. So it's understandable at this point of his career, when he's a future Hall of Famer, that he doesn't want to have to implement and coach up a scheme he's not familiar with. Christian Parker, DB's coach, defensive pass game coordinator, helped to develop Kuper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell into being first-team All-Pros. He's now the DC of the Dallas Cowboys. Jason Michael replaced as the tight ends coach. Tyler Yelk, defensive assistant, no longer with this staff either. So that is the latest on the Eagles coaching staff with the latest coaching staff updates. If you made it until the end of the video and you enjoyed today's show, give me a real one down below as part of our Real One roll call. Appreciate all of the support as always. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button for daily and year-round coverage of the EAGLES Eagles.